The starting point is the economic logic that guides multinational corporations. Brands operate in a marketplace where consumer attention is as valuable as the products themselves. In this sense, Jungkook's name functions as a magnet that concentrates global attention more effectively than traditional advertising campaigns. His fan base is not confined to South Korea or Asia. It spans the United States, Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East. This reach provides a ready-made global distribution channel for any brand that attaches its name to him. For corporations, marketing budgets in the billions are not unusual. But what differentiates the Jungkook phenomenon is how efficiently these sums are converted into measurable results. A campaign involving Jungkook often generates higher returns on investment than conventional celebrity partnerships. Engagement levels on social media, immediate sales spikes after his appearances, and long-term brand loyalty all combine to make him uniquely profitable. Thus, even when companies spend what seems like astronomical amounts, the numbers make sense from a purely financial perspective. Another factor is the concept of cultural currency. Jungkook is not just a singer. He represents a cultural movement that has redefined global pop. When a brand secures his endorsement, it is not merely acquiring an image, but borrowing credibility from one of the most influential cultural forces of the past decade. This credibility cannot be replicated by traditional marketing. It explains why companies are ready to allocate resources on a scale that might appear extreme. Cultural currency is intangible, but it translates into concrete advantages. For example, when Jungkook appears in an advertisement for a fashion label, that label gains more than visibility. It becomes part of a global conversation. Fans generate organic publicity by sharing content, creating hashtags, and producing their own interpretations. The brand effectively multiplies its marketing reach without paying for additional advertising space. This multiplier effect is one reason why expenditures in the trillions are not only tolerated, but pursued aggressively. Equally significant is the pressure of competition. In industries like fashion, luxury goods, beverages, and technology, rivals constantly monitor each other's moves. If one company manages to associate itself with Jungkook, competitors fear being left behind in terms of visibility and relevance. This leads to bidding wars where financial considerations escalate rapidly. What begins as a strategic partnership can evolve into a high-stakes contest, with each brand willing to outspend the other to ensure its dominance. The willingness to spend trillions thus reflects not only Jungkook's intrinsic value, but also the competitive dynamics of the industries involved. No brand wants to be perceived as second-tier in comparison to a rival that has secured such a powerful ambassador. The result is a cycle where investment figures climb ever higher, setting new records for celebrity endorsement deals. Fashion and lifestyle brands provide the clearest illustration of this phenomenon. These industries depend heavily on cultural icons to project their image, and Jungkook fits perfectly into their strategy. His ability to embody both high fashion sophistication and casual streetwear appeal makes him versatile across product lines. This duality is rare, and brands understand its worth. Take, for example, the way luxury labels position themselves. A campaign featuring Jungkook is not just about promoting clothes, it is about selling an identity. Consumers who purchase the products are, in effect, buying into the lifestyle associated with him. This psychological factor magnifies sales in ways that conventional branding cannot achieve. The willingness of brands to allocate immense budgets reflects their recognition of this leverage. The entertainment industry also plays a role in magnifying the financial stakes. In an era where music and fashion intersect, Jungkook stands at the crossroads of both. His performances are global events, streamed and shared across countless platforms. Each appearance generates free publicity for any brand associated with him. Companies factor this into their calculations, recognizing that his influence extends beyond conventional celebrity endorsements. It is also important to consider the timing of these investments. When Jungkook releases music, appears at fashion shows, or participates in public events, the attention levels spike dramatically. Brands coordinate their campaigns around these moments, often spending more during peak visibility periods. This synchronization ensures maximum exposure but also increases costs, as demand for his involvement during these windows is extremely high. One of the most striking aspects of Jungkook's influence is how digital platforms multiply its impact. Traditional advertising requires purchasing media space, but campaigns involving Jungkook spread organically across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Fans generate enormous volumes of unpaid promotion, which further boosts the effectiveness of the brand's investment. From a corporate standpoint, this is invaluable. Every dollar spent on a Jungkook campaign is effectively amplified by the unpaid labor of millions of fans. This makes the high initial expenditure rational, because the actual reach far exceeds what the company could achieve through direct spending alone. It is here that the idea of trillions begins to make sense. The potential returns justify the unprecedented scale of investment. Concrete data supports these observations. When Jungkook has been linked to product campaigns, sales figures often skyrocket within hours. Limited edition items sell out almost instantly, websites crash from traffic surges, and resale markets thrive with inflated prices. These are measurable outcomes that prove the effectiveness of the strategy. Brands track these numbers closely, and the evidence consistently shows that Jungkook's involvement delivers unparalleled results. The financial logic is straightforward. If investing trillions can generate multiples of that amount in revenue, then the expenditure is not wasteful, but strategic. Another dimension of this investment is risk management. By aligning with Jungkook, brands minimize the uncertainty that often accompanies celebrity endorsements. His reputation is strong, his global appeal is stable, and his fan engagement remains unmatched. This reliability makes him a safer bet than other figures whose popularity might be more volatile. Exclusivity also adds to the cost. Companies are not only paying for his image, but also for the guarantee that their rivals cannot use it. This exclusivity clause drives up the price dramatically. In high-stakes industries, securing exclusivity is often worth more than the endorsement itself, and this explains part of the trillion-level spending. To illustrate, consider a brand launching a flagship store in a major city like Tokyo or New York. Normally, advertising costs would include billboards, influencer promotions, and event sponsorships. However, when Jungkook is brought in as the face of the campaign, the budget escalates. Trillions are directed toward ensuring that his presence dominates the narrative. His image is placed on skyscrapers, his performances are tied to launch events, and limited edition items are released in connection with his name. The returns, however, match the spending. Merchandise linked to Jungkook sells out at record speed. Even standard product lines see spikes in demand when connected to campaigns involving him. The multiplier effect of his influence ensures that the initial trillions spent translate into tens of trillions in brand visibility and long-term sales. Beyond fashion, the technology sector also illustrates how Jungkook commands enormous budgets. Companies producing smartphones, wearables, and lifestyle gadgets often compete for visibility among younger demographics. Aligning with Jungkook ensures instant access to a tech-savvy, globally connected audience. When a smartphone company ties its latest launch to Jungkook, the costs involve more than standard endorsements. The brand commits to designing interactive campaigns, augmented reality experiences, and social media tie-ins that highlight Jungkook's persona. These initiatives require high levels of investment in both development and promotion. The total outlay can reach trillion-level figures, especially when campaigns are global in scope. Again, the return is measurable. Launches tied to Jungkook consistently outperform expectations, with products selling faster than anticipated and brand loyalty deepening in markets previously considered difficult to penetrate. For tech firms, this justifies the financial scale of commitment. Even industries outside fashion and technology have begun to allocate unprecedented sums to connect with Jungkook. Beverage companies, for instance, rely heavily on visibility and brand association. Associating with Jungkook allows them to project not just a product, but a lifestyle narrative. Campaigns often extend into music, video placements, live event sponsorships, and interactive fan experiences. These initiatives require enormous logistical and financial planning. Trillions are spent on coordinating global rollouts, securing advertising slots during major events, and creating exclusive product packaging tied to Jungkook. In every case, the figures are justified by immediate spikes in sales and a long-term elevation of brand prestige. An important dimension in each of these case studies is exclusivity. Brands are not simply paying for Jungkook's participation, they are also ensuring that competitors are locked out of similar opportunities. Exclusivity agreements are among the costliest components of endorsement deals. They often include stipulations that prevent Jungkook from associating with direct rivals for a set period, guaranteeing a monopoly on his image within a given industry. The financial implications are significant. A single exclusivity clause can add trillions to the total cost of a campaign. However, brands accept this because the competitive advantage is invaluable. Being the sole company with access to Jungkook's global influence ensures market dominance that money alone could not otherwise buy. Another key strategy is the integration of Jungkook into global events. When he appears at fashion weeks, music festivals, or international award shows, brands capitalize on the visibility by linking their campaigns directly to these moments. The investment required is enormous, covering not only logistics, but also the synchronization of marketing activities across multiple regions. For instance, when Jungkook attends a fashion show, companies often release special collections or global advertisements simultaneously. These coordinated rollouts involve high upfront costs but deliver unprecedented exposure. The logic is simple. Jungkook's presence guarantees global headlines, and any brand associated with him benefits instantly from the attention. In every case study, social media plays a central role. Campaigns involving Jungkook generate engagement levels that exceed traditional advertising by orders of magnitude. Hashtags trend worldwide within minutes. Content is shared millions of times, and digital impressions reach billions. This organic multiplication reduces the need for additional advertising spending, but it also justifies higher upfront costs. Companies recognize that no amount of conventional marketing could achieve such results. Spending trillions to secure Jungkook's involvement is therefore seen not as an extravagance, but as an efficient method of achieving unmatched reach. Finally, the most critical outcome of these case studies is the long-term brand value created. While sales spikes are immediate, the real payoff lies in the enduring association between the brand and Jungkook. Consumers remember the link long after the campaign ends, and this memory translates into loyalty. For luxury brands, being tied to Jungkook elevates their prestige in emerging markets. For technology companies, It builds relevance among younger demographics. For lifestyle products, it positions them as part of a global cultural movement. These long-term benefits are precisely why brands are willing to commit trillions in the present.